चलिए आपको सीधा लिए चलते हैं मुंबई, जहां आरबीआई की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस फिलहाल चल रही है।
Apart from the State Bank of India, you have leading private sector banks which are major stakeholders in the banking sector, both the public sector segment led by the State Bank of India and major private sector players, major private sector banks have joined hands to revive the Yes Bank and to take the restructuring scheme forward. In that way also, it is perhaps the first of its type. And in India, on earlier occasions, whenever there was failure of a scheduled commercial bank, the usual method has been amalgamation of the failed bank with a larger entity. This time we have not done so. This time the identity of the Yes Bank, the bank which is in difficulty, the identity of that bank is retained and the investors are the banks which have come forward. So the participation of private sector banks in particular demonstrates the confidence of major players in the banking sector in the revival plan. So that is therefore in this background I would like to state a point which I have said earlier, which we had told in our press note also earlier, that the depositors' money is absolutely safe. I would take this opportunity through you to convey to all the depositors of Yes Bank that their money, their deposits with the Yes Bank are completely safe and there is no reason for any undue worry, or there is no need for rushing into withdrawing their deposits or their money which is with the Yes Bank. Their money is safe. In India, if you go by history, never in the banking history of India, in a scheduled commercial bank, the depositors have never lost money. Their interests have always been protected. The present scheme also protects the interest of the depositors. So I once again reiterate that the depositors need not worry. Their money is safe. After 6 p.m. on Wednesday, which is 18th of March, they can draw their money, but there is absolutely no reason for them, no need for them to go for panic withdrawal or for getting unduly worried. Their money continues to be safe. I'm again and again saying this because this is very important, and the whole scheme, the underlying theme, the main point on which the scheme is based on is to protect the interest of the depositors. And I also would like to say that two more points, especially in the light of action by certain authorities, especially at the state level, to taking decision to withdraw money from private sector banks. The Reserve Bank of India, from RBI, we have written to all state governments impressing upon them that the Indian banking sector is sound and safe, and Indian banking sector includes the private sector banks. We have specifically indicated that the health of the banking sector, including the private banking sector, is sound and safe, and therefore there is no reason for state government authorities to withdraw deposits or to take deposits or to keep away from the private sector banks. Private sector banks are an important component of our banking sector, and therefore it would be necessary that in the interest of financial stability, in the interest of banking stability, that the various authorities, both at the central and at the state government level, they continue their confidence on the private sector banks. I am also happy to note that during all these months, when there were stories about Yes Bank having increasing difficulty, large number of depositors of Yes Bank have remained loyal and they are still with the Yes Bank. I do expect and appeal to them to continue their confidence and loyalty to the Yes Bank. And you have the big names of Indian banking sector which are there participating in the revival plan for revival of the Yes Bank. And we have also, I think the one next point I would like to mention is that the Yes Bank has enough liquidity to meet any requirement. If, I repeat, if there is a requirement, the Reserve Bank will provide necessary liquidity support to Yes Bank to meet its requirements if such a requirement arises. So that is a comforting factor for the depositors, that the Reserve Bank will support the Yes Bank with liquidities if it is required. And we are quite, at this point of time, our interaction with the investing banks, the state bank and the other private sector banks, our interaction with them gives us the confidence that the revival of Yes Bank will work out. It's a sound revival plan and it's a robust revival plan.